What's up, guys? I got a really cool project for y'all today. It's really easy. Anybody can do it. It's a great project for kids during the summer, especially if they love to fish, and that's making a hand line. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a soda bottle preform. These you can pick up off Amazon. They're just called a soda bottle preform. What they are is, this is how every soda bottle starts off. You have the threads on the end. Basically how these work, they're clamped into a deal, they're heated up, and then air is forced into them, it's forced into a mold, and this becomes a soda bottle. This is how they come before they're turned into Coke bottles. So, first thing I'm gonna do is, these come with caps. These have metal caps, but you can use the cap off your favorite Coke or soda or whatever. And you're just gonna wanna drill a hole. Since these are metal, I did put a little brass grommet in it. First things first, I'm gonna take a piece of bungee cord. I typically will do paracord, but sometimes the paracord's hard to get over your hand if it's not the right length. And so I had some bungee cord here, so I thought I'm gonna use bungee cord. I've never done that before on any of them I've made. And I'm just gonna make an overhand knot, nothing crazy. And that bungee cord is gonna be there to be a lanyard. The next thing, you'll need a piece of inner tube. This is a road bike inner tube, and it fits on these preforms about perfect. And the reason I want just a little bit of rubber is when I put my fishing line on there, it allows it to grip just a little bit to where it doesn't just fall off the end. If you try to wrap your fishing line just around this plastic bottle, it's so slick that it just wants to fall off, and that defeats the whole purpose. I mean, you want to be able to keep some line on here. You want it to come off easy, but you want it to stay put when you're not actively fishing with it. So the inner tube helps with that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come around here. I'm going to wrap this with something. It can be tarred bank line. It can be paracord. I'm going to use jute twine because I have it and it's cheap. I'm going to reposition the camera so that you can see exactly how I'm going to start this wrap, and then I'm going to wrap this thing up, and that's going to give me a little bit of a handle and extra cordage. How I'm going to start this wrap, I'm going to make me a loop, and I have a tag end coming down here, and I'm going to keep this loop up at the top. Next, I'm going to come down here to about where I want my wraps to start, which is going to be about here. So about 2 inches from the end. And I'm just going to start wrapping this around, being sure not to get my tag end wrapped in it. And then just wrap all the way up. Like I said, paracord works great for this. Tarred bank line works really good. Anything that adds extra cordage. All right. Now I've reached the end. I'm going to take my end here, feed it up through the loop. And I'm going to pull on my tag in, and hopefully it doesn't break. There we go. Once I've got it seated, where it's not going to come unraveled, I can come in. I'm going to cut this off, but I want to leave a little bit. That way, if I ever need it, I can pull here and regain access to it. Take a lighter, just burn off a little bit of these fuzzies. We're good there. Now, I'm gonna use fishing line. Now I have fishing line here. This is 6-pound test. In my experience, you don't want to run with anything too heavy, and braid can be a problem too. Because if you tie into a big fish and you wrap your hand around it trying to pull that fish in, that braid can cut you pretty quick. So basically I want something that is going to give before it hurts me. And something in that 4 to 6 pound test range works really well for this. You can tie whatever your preferred fishing knot is. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to cinch this down up close to my jute wraps there. I'm right-handed, and I know I'm going to want my retrieve to be like this. Figure out what's comfortable. If you're left-handed, put it in your left hand. If you're more comfortable wrapping, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's whatever is most comfortable for you. This is how I like to do it. I like to have it in my right hand, and I like to roll it forward and around. And I just want to build up a nice bed of thread there, or line there. Maybe put 25, 30 yards on there, 40 yards. Just when you feel like it's enough, put a little bit more and then stop. After you've got your line wrapped around there, you're going to need something to help hold it down. If you have any more of your inner tube that you use to wrap this with, that works great. I don't have any more, so I'm going to try to use a bigger one. If that doesn't work, I may wind up, yeah, that'll work. You use regular rubber band. But if you go buy an inner tube to do this with, or go to a bike shop and get a free inner tube, a used one that's just not repairable, you should have plenty excess to make some more. I am just out of the small inner tubes at the moment. So that's ready. The next thing you're going to need to do is, you're going to see these in a lot of my videos because I use them for all kinds of stuff. It's great for keeping stuff somewhat organized in your tackle box or survival kits like this. These are just little mini Ziploc bags. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. They're great for keeping small stuff like fish and tackle together. I'll sometimes put jigs in it to keep them separated from other jigs so they don't bleed off colors. And I'm just going to stuff these down inside this tube. It's a hollow tube. Use it. The one thing I will recommend, anything you put in here, the first thing you put in needs to be terminal tackle. So it needs to be your hooks, your sinkers. I have a couple jig heads in here, some split shot, some brim hooks, and then I have one like beetle spin arm. That stuff is gonna go in first because that weight allows me to pop it like that and force everything else out. So put your heavy items in first. Push them all the way to the end. Then I'm gonna take just a couple jigs. And these are gonna go in. And the last thing I'm gonna put in there is a bobber. And she's all done. There it is. I did put the beetle spinner on the outside, just clipped it to the bungee cord because it was causing some problems trying to get my stuff out from the inside because the spring was just a little bit too wide for this bottle. But man, if you've never caught panfish on one of these, they're so much fun. It's right up there with catching them on a cane pole. And this is a great project for kids to make. You can customize it, make it your own, put whatever color paracord you want on here. You can wrap this handle in paracord. You can literally make this thing any way you want it. Put whatever your favorite lures are inside it. And it's real simple to cast and retrieve. It's just a simple underhand motion. Hold your finger on your line, your bait hanging down, pitch it, it goes out, and then you just start winding the line back up. If you've got a bobber on there, you just let it sit, and you get a bite, you just pull back on it, and then reel your fish in. And this thing literally will fit in your pocket. So where these to me shine are those camping trips where you go, or hiking trips where you go, you know, we might run into a place to fish, but I'm not confident enough to actually take a rod with me, or to throw in a go bag or anything like that. And these things are, and they're just a blast. They're a blast to use. They're easy to use. Anybody can use this. And it's a good way to get survival food. I mean, 3-4 inch bluegill, they'll keep you alive. But thank you guys for watching. You get a chance, build one of these things, take your kid fishing with it, or take a kid fishing with it. They will have a blast, I promise you. Thank you guys. God bless. I'll catch you on the next one.